Good morning, my good friends. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my channel. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, my good friends. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andre Lefevre, and I am a citizen journalist. I'm extreme libertarian, and I like to mouth off on things political, things cultural, things interesting. And we have a big live stream today. Many things has happened. The most, I guess, the hottest story out there is that there was a mass shooting at the Florida Madden 19 video gaming tournament. Let me bring this story up. This is from Deadline.com, a big headline. Mass shooting in Florida Madden 19 video gaming tournament kills two. Update. Updated with more info. Suspect victims' IDs. Officials in Jacksonville, Florida, confirmed that two people were killed in addition to gunmen during a mass shooting at Madden 19 video game tournament Sunday in the northern Florida city. 11 others were reportedly wounded. Apparently, what has happened is a young man by the last name of, let's see, his name is David Katz, according to the official version. A 24-year-old gamer who had been a Madden competitor in the past. The Associated Press reported the Baltimore home of Katz's father was raided later Sunday as part of his investigation. So I can infer from that he probably lived at home and was a gamer. All mass shootings interest me at all because it is my belief. It is my belief that most of the mass shootings that we have in the United States are not homegrown, if you will, are not spontaneous. Most of them, I think, it is my belief that most of them are engineered by the deep state in order to move anti-gun agenda or create a situation where they can pressure the legislature to pass anti-privacy law to erode the privacy protection of our Constitution. Even though our Constitution does not explicitly protect privacy, there is no word privacy in our Constitution. It has been interpreted from the very beginning is that our privacy is sacrosanct. Well, starting with the JFK assassination, where the deep state started limiting our ability to buy firearms, all the way through 9/11, where it is my belief that it's a false flag designed which was designed, and I'm not going to argue about the details how that happened. I have no idea. But if you look who benefited from it, the military industrial complex benefited from untold billions of dollars that they earned in profits from that war. And big tech benefited from eroding our privacy. The Patriot Act gave a lot of contracts to the Silicon Valley big tech, such as Google, Facebook, etc., to collect information on all of us. FISA courts were created where in secret our three-letter salad agencies in Washington, D.C. could spy on us. So it is my belief that every time there is a mass shooting that makes national news, such as this one, you have to look for the rat. It always smells a rat. Why did it happen? Who benefits from it? I don't buy that the regular person, even if he is depressed, just by himself, is going to take a gun and start shooting people. It is a very difficult thing to pick up a gun and start shooting people without somebody prompting such a person, coaching such a person, directing such a program. It has been unearthed, was it the MK Ultra program of 1950s and 60s that CIA ran, where they experimented in mind control. Well, very few people doubt that this program still exists and just changed designations. Now, one of the ideas of why Jackson been a shooter, excuse me, shot those people. If we just look at the big picture rather than start looking at the details, let's look at the big picture. What's going on in the United States, and who may benefit if it is a black flag? And I have no proof of it. I wasn't there. I don't know. I'm just thinking. All the shootings that we had so far are really strange. Parkland, it's obvious black flag. Broward County Sheriff stood down. Alarm rang before the shooting started. The key anti-gun activists turned out to be all part of the drama club and all anti-gun, and the pro-gun students weren't allowed on the corporate controlled media. In as if it was reversed, which in my belief it was. The anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment propaganda was rolled out on the same day as the shooting happened. If we look at the Santa Fe High School in Texas, very similar thing. I really looked at it in depth. The official story has so many holes. It could be a calendar. Apparently, again, there was some sort of a fire drill. Alarm rang before the shooting started. I looked at many early reports. There was about half an hour worth of a shootout between the suspect and the police, and it is unclear. One of the reports I saw that it is possible that most of the fatalities in the Santa Fe shooting were killed by the police during the shootout. I mean, what did really happen in those? Now we have this. This situation in Florida, where Mr. Cutts all of a sudden gets pissed off that he lost, pulls out a gun, kills 2 people, hurts another 9 or 11, then kills himself. This is not an action of a sane person. This was not something that can be rationalized. And please don't come back at me and say, well, he was deranged and he was crazy. Such craziness is rare. Such craziness is rare. People don't just get crazy all of a sudden and start killing people and then kill themselves. This is a, let me bring this up. This is a story from Vox. Florida conveniently has its primaries tomorrow, which is shooting happened 2 days yesterday, 2 days before the primaries. Florida governor, the race to replace Rick Scott. Who are the Republicans? And again, this is from Vox. Republican Ron DeSantis and State Agriculture Commissioner Adam Potham are the 2 main contenders. DeSantis desperately sought and now tried to ask for President Trump endorsement and got it. That might be all you need in a state you can't really run too far from the right in GOP primary. Potham, the establishment choice, has sought to walk a tightrope, not to disown Trump entirely, but still criticizing DeSantis for being a little more than Trump's puppet. Well, the way I look at this is maybe, again, I don't know, I wasn't there and I really haven't done too much investigating. I'm just telling you one of the ways to look at it. Democrats are deranged. Well, let's face it, to be a Democrat, to be progressive, you do have to lose your mind. Normal people do not vote Democrat. Normal people do not vote away their rights. In their mind, gun control is a good thing. In their mind, guns by themselves shoot people, and guns have evil attached to them, just an inanimate object. So it's not inconceivable that they strategize that if they stage a mass shooting in Florida a few days before the elections and stigmatize DeSantis with the shootings, as they think they can stigmatize NRA or anybody who supports Trump or anybody conservative or Christian with it, they can push an establishment Republican through, and establishment Republican will have a very difficult time winning against the Democrat, because as soon as you get a rhino in there, most of us just stay home or vote Libertarian or vote third party. This is a thought. This is a thought. Now, I have to say another thing about those black flags. The Las Vegas massacre still has a huge question mark on exactly what happened. Now I can see the reports. Let me see if I can find them really quick. Just give me a second. I apologize. I did not prepare. Um, Las Vegas shooters girlfriend apparently worked for FBI. Let me repeat this. It is apparently there are reports. Let's see here. Let's see. Here we go. This was from. I can't see it. I can't find it very quickly because um, I just forgot to bring that up. But apparently, the Paddock's girlfriend, the man who in the official story was the shooter, she apparently on one of her credit applications listed FBI as her employer. And there are several citizen news organizations, non-corporate control, that called the FBI, and the FBI said that it looks like she got paid. And you know what? I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to report more on it later. More on it in my later live streams. But anyways, those mass shootings are never what the official story is. Also, there are many reports that Paddock's girlfriend's fingerprints were found on the casings inside the Paddock's room. I mean, what exactly happened there is an open question, but it definitely didn't happen the way official story went. So it is not a big stretch to see that the official story of what happened in Florida is not the way it went. Who is this Mr. Katz, who apparently still lives with his parents? While all of a sudden, a serious player who played many games without killing anybody, all of a sudden snapped and killed. The coverage today is scant, except rabid anti-gun commentators on the corporate control media. I have a lot of questions on it. I don't know if I have time and ability to dig a little more into it, but if you have more information, please contact me. Go to wildnews.us. On the contact me page, there's my email address and my phone numbers in there. In a related story, related is because it has to do with terrorism. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, local police discovered a radical Islamic terrorist training ground in New Mexico that trained young children to do mass shootings, primarily in schools. Here is Gateway Pundit headline. New Mexico judge accused jihadist cult prosecutors of anti-Muslim bias. We now know they plan attack on Atlanta hospital. Let me read you a couple of paragraphs. Muslim Siraj ibn Wahaj was arrested earlier this month at a terrorist compound in New Mexico. Wahaj was training children to commit mass shootings in U.S. schools. Siraj ibn Wahaj is the son of Brooklyn man who was named as a possible conspirator in 1993 World Trade Center bombing. New Mexico police entered a dangerous Islamist terrorist camp in New Mexico this month after they grew tired of FBI stalling. Again, for some reason, that comes up again and again that FBI doesn't really want to arrest some of those terrorists. The Clarion Project wrote an extensive report on New Mexico terrorist compound. The FBI refused to act. Instead, FBI told a neighbor to wear hidden camera and risk his life by approaching an armed Islamist extremist compound. New Mexico judge Sarah Bacchus released the 5 Islamist defendants: Siraj Wahaj, Hirawe Haj, Sabitna One Haj. Forgive me, I cannot pronounce those Arabic names. Jenny Lavelle and Lucas Martin on a 20,000 signature bond. In making the decision to release the extremist, Judge Bacchus accused prosecutors of anti-Muslim bias against Islamic terror organizers. Anyways, I'm not going to read all of it, but somewhere in the story is buried that they were planning to attack Atlanta Hospital. Let's see. Let's switch gears a little bit. The next story is about the big tech. In the big tech censorship. As we all know, Alex Jones was banned from the 93% of the social platforms by the Silicon Valley billionaires. This signals to me is that big tech is part of a strategy, conspiracy, if you will. I don't care how you call it, a planned coup d'etat against the sitting president, and an attempt to silence all the conservatives and all the libertarians who are against the Democratic Party, who are against the idea that a large bloated government has a right to tell the rest of us what to do. Democrat Party has always believed in that. It's a form of fascism, even though the progressive liberals and Democrats are ready to call everybody else who opposes them fascists. They believe in true fascist ideas without calling them by name. This is what fascism is. Is when the big government reaches its hand in everybody's freedom and tells the rest of us what to do. It doesn't, unlike socialists and communists, it doesn't take over the businesses and nationalizes them, but it, on paper, they still remain private, but in reality, is they're controlled by the big brother. Well, they got so brazen that they stopped hiding the fact that they are colluding together. This is in an article from, where is this from? From Variety.com. Tech companies meet in San Francisco to coordinate election project. They met over the weekend. Representatives from some of the technology industry biggest companies have scheduled an internal meeting in San Francisco this Friday to coordinate their efforts against online election interference, according to a BuzzFeed report. The meeting has been organized by Facebook, with Twitter hosting the group at the San Francisco headquarters, according to the report. I don't have the original BuzzFeed story here, but yeah, they are using they're using the excuse of Russian interference in the election. That particular story is been proven false, because if anything, Russians supported Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton in 2016 elections, contrary to the Democrat rhetoric, and there's no indications that Russians are somehow massively supporting Donald Trump. So the only reason they are meeting is how to exclude people like myself. They already excluded Alex Jones. Now they're after smaller conservative and libertarian voices. But why are they doing it, you may ask? Well, let's see. Here's an interesting story, and just stay with me. This is from Getaway Pundit. Huge. Rasmussen moved Cohen case to New York, then ordered Trump appointed U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman to recuse himself. So only Democrats can look at the case. The next story that I have is it's a report by Infowars. It's I'm on real.video, and this is a story that Roger Stone was reportedly to be arrested over the weekend. As far as I can see, he's still free. But it looks like it's a much larger strategy that the deep state is using. Now they're going after people close to Donald Trump and their families, like they went after the son of General Flynn in order to convince them to plead guilty. And it is believed the strategy is real simple: to intimidate the cabinet of Donald Trump to the point where they will falsely vote him incompetent on mental grounds and to invoke 25th Amendment. This is a huge deal. This is a huge deal. This is the stuff that's done in the banana republics and the third world dictatorships. Let's listen to Alex Jones. He's interviewing Roger Stone, and Roger Stone has some very good thoughts as well as Alex. So fair use, fair use.
That was had power, but it happens all the time where we're out at night, our cameras are dead, our phones are dead, and it happens. He got, just like it's happened to Candace Owens and many others, short of the pitchforks and torches in New York.
Okay. Connection is lost. How can you spell deep state interference? Let's see. It worked perfectly well earlier. Let's see. Here we go.
Launch your own video channel for free at real.video.
Okay. Here we go.
CNN reporter contacted me by text telling me that they thought some action against me was imminent. None of that, of course, has turned out to be true. It is a beautiful Sunday here in South Florida. But what we have seen is an effort to reverse the narrative, despite the fact that we have 4.6% GDP economic growth under this president. In the announcements yesterday, there is now a major move to use the conviction of Paul Manafort, the guilty plea of Michael Cohen, to reverse the narrative and a hysteria
that has nothing to do with Russia.
Well, they've even abandoned their Russia.
Oh, even Maddow said last week, she goes, I'm done with Russia. Now they now abandoned it for the obstruction and the process stuff.
Right. It's all process related because they have been unable to find any Russian collusion or, on my case, any WikiLeaks collaboration. Somebody named David French writing today in the National Review. Roger Stone apparently had advance notice of the release of John Podesta's emails. No, Mr. Fringe, no, I did not, and there is no evidence to the contrary. You have to bastardize one of my tweets to even reach that conclusion. Look, the president needs to recognize what's going on here. The idea that this can wait till after the elections is wrong, is incorrect. He will have less power after the elections, regardless of their outcome. In my opinion, the president needs to move now, today.
Well, let's stop right there because you were going to go. Stop right there. This is the big announcement you were going to make on the show coming up today, 4 to 6 p.m. But I agree, we can't even wait now. Let me call up the actual text here that you sent me a few days ago and the phone conversation that we had, Roger, because you were supposed to be on this week today, but you didn't do it, obviously, because of the McCain announcement. So we need drum roll here. This is a pretty big deal you're about to announce. Your advice to the president, my advice to the president, and yes, folks, we get information to the president, whether you like it or not, whether you ban us off the internet or not. It didn't work. Make the big announcement, the wargaming we had, the decision we made, what we're going to be announcing to everybody right now that I can tell by their actions you agree. They're not waiting for 2020. They're not waiting for impeachment. Even Hayden has come out and said, leave the president alone. You're going to turn the country against you. They had on Bill Maher, the communist, Wahhabist, admitted traitor, Brennan, whose whole creed since college is hating America, is saying we're going to use 25th Amendment to take Trump out. They're going to cause civil unrest. They're going to try to crash the market. This is a clear and present danger. They're going to make their move the next 72 days. And I concur with you. You concur with me. We've got a lot of sources. Let's just say patriots in the government who concur. And they're looking for us, for leadership as spokespersons, to stick our heads up and do this. So start over and get into what Roger Stone's advice to the president is, with 72 days left as they try to plunge the economy, as they try to sabotage the nation. What does Roger Stone think the president needs to do right now? Fire Mueller, fire 4 Deep, politically clean house, explain the fake system that Rosenstein put in front of him about changing the succession. It's time to remove the face sucker.
Yeah, it is an evolution in my thinking, as you know, Alex, but I think the time has come. They have made their move, and now the president must make his move. Look, I am accurately reported as having reported here at InfoWars last week that they are seeking to bring some action against Donald Trump Jr., someone I like and have huge respect for because, like his father, he's got big cojones.
And 2 days after it all broke, I mean, get into that. They're now saying, yes, they're going to indict him. So this is a constitutional crisis. How would they dare try to destroy an economy exploding? I'm sorry. It's just...
let me stop with this. Just go to real.video, or go to Alex Jones's channel, Infowars.com, and watch the full interview. It is very, very interesting, very informative, and it's very hard to poke holes into it. Finally, we see a situation, and it's a very interesting situation, with the advent of the conservative social media, with the advent of people like Alex Jones and many others. Corporate control media no longer controls the narrative, no longer controls the stories. So in many ways, now the Democratic Party operatives and the progressives, the enemies of Donald Trump, have to tell the truth. It's weird the way it is. We're living in the age where you cannot use psychobabble anymore. You cannot use those beautiful round phrases, euphemisms for stuff. They're pretty honest about it when they're saying it. Yeah, they're saying that they want to, the Democratic Party, instead of trying to win hearts and minds of American voters, they simply want to get rid of Donald Trump by intimidating the cabinet so they can invoke the 25th Amendment. And they've been trying to do it since pretty much since Donald Trump was elected. Um, this is not a time where we can go back to sleep. Actually, freedom is not free. Freedom, you always have to fight for it. If you fall asleep, if you just take it easy and flow down the current of your life, you're going to end up with a tyranny. That's how it always happens. In order to be free, you have to constantly fight those sons of bitches, that 1% of the hereditary wealthy people who think they're better than you. Remember, normal people don't want to control you. Only trust fund kids who know that they're worthless, that Washington elite, those swamp creatures, they're all of them, with very, very few exceptions, are trust fund kids who never earned a living by hard work. They believe in redistributive economy where they get the lion's share of the money and leave us, the people who actually make the money, pay the taxes, with just a little bit. I'll talk more about it again and again in my live streams, but this is a system they created, and now they're protecting it because Donald Trump, even though he himself was born into money, he has never benefited from the tax money the way the corporate control media is, the prison industrial complex is, defense industrial complex is, military industrial complex is. In some very interesting way, he represents us, and it's just not a rhetoric. Whether we in the past were Democrats or Republicans or independent like myself, we love America, and we love our privacy, and we love our freedom. And Donald Trump seems to love all those American values too. Folks, I gotta go. I gotta get back to work. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it a lot more than I can ever express. And God bless you, ladies and gents. God bless you.